very important weekend this weekend. Would you all agree? What is this weekend?
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Mother's Day. Heard you had a good Mother's Day interview.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I heard. Rumor has it. The greatest mom ever. So to my mom, happy Mother's Day. To my wife, happy Mother's Day. And to all the mothers out there, we appreciate you very much. So thanks for what you do and have a great day. What questions you have?
You had your draft picks out there participating, which some coaches don't do. Why is that important to you that they're in and not concerned about injuries and whatnot?
Yeah, well, we've always done that. I feel like Rookie Minicamp is a chance to prepare these guys, all the guys, for what's next. So we've got practice on phase 2 version of practice on Monday that they'll be a part of. So now I've got a chance to kind of see how it all is put together, whole part whole, run the plays, see how they fit in, and thought they got something out of it. We've always done it that way.
What's your goal for this week? Like with Rookie Minicamp in general? What are you trying to specifically accomplish with the players and everybody?
Yeah, goal for Rookie Minicamp is a great question. There's probably like different levels because you've got to meet every person in a different place. You know, there's a lot of range of where guys are at. You've got everywhere from your 2 first-round picks, top 10 picks. I mean, that's one extreme, to guys who are on tryout basis trying to earn a shot. And so you try to accomplish all those things. You try to orientate the guys who are going to be here next week and you know are going to be here toward where you're going so they can be the most ready they can be to make the most out of next week and going forward. And then you try to see if you can find a couple guys too. And then with that, you need to have enough guys here to have a real practice. I mean, we want to be able to run some team periods and do a 2-minute period like we did so we can see the guys move around like in a real kind of a football, kind of a, not real football, but simulated real football. And it was a great practice. You guys saw it out there. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? It's fun to watch, right?
With the tryout guys, Coach, how do you get those guys mentally focused on the task at hand, not to look too far in the future?
Great question. I think it's probably maybe they've learned that already. We didn't talk too much about that. We just talked about what they had to do in these last 2 days. The first thing is to learn their responsibilities. You know, make sure you understand the play, offense, defense, special teams, and execute it. Try to make sure they understand this is not a competitive camp. Like, it's not a camp where you're trying to go out there and make plays. There really are no plays to be made. It's a rehearsal type of a camp. We call it fast rehearsal when we do the team period. So we're going to go fast. We're going to try to execute fast. We're going to try to be on point with great technique. And we're going to rehearse. We're going to kind of do the dance, so to speak, of football. We're not actually competing against one another. So you didn't see any like violent or physical type of battles out there. It was more kind of competing against yourself and your ability to execute the play.
When do you go from the rehearsal stage to the competitive stage during the off-season workout program? Does that start at training camp, or when does that sort of shift for you?
Yeah. Is that a normal thing?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys have to speak up for me here.
Not always.
Wow. Yeah, good point. So it probably goes competitive through training camp. I mean, it's not even when training camp starts, because even when you go into pads for the first time, it's not completely competitive. It is competitive from a blocking standpoint. It's much more combative, but we're not taking guys to the ground for the most part. The true competition comes in the preseason games. You know, that's when you could say it's the most competitive. So I'd say it's a kind of a ramp up to that.
Since we last talked to you, you guys made some moves at defensive tackle. DJ, Shelby, Pickens. What do you think of what you guys have done there since the draft?
I'm very happy about it. You know, I felt like it was part of our process. You know, it's not that we wouldn't have drafted a defensive tackle or signed one sooner if they'd become available, or kept Dexter if that was something we could do. Those were all things that were on the table. But as it went, I thought we did a good job of kind of responding to the situation as it unfolded. And now we feel really good about our group in there. Our room looks good to me. I'm excited about it. I think we've got the guys we need.
Did you see the offense in the huddle at the end of the 2-minute drill when you stepped in?
Right. We were talking about the situation. So all of our practices will have like situational elements. I mean, like every play is a situation in football. But sometimes you may take a minute just to kind of say, okay, let's put this in perspective right now. You know, we're in 2-minute period. We've got no timeouts. We're at the 50-yard line. We need to get in range here. Can we afford to have a penalty? You know, if we catch the ball short, we want to get as much as we can, get down quick, get the ball back, and do what? Get on the ball. We're gonna clock it. So just kind of explain the circumstance that we were practicing.
John, one of the guys you have here at quarterback is Sluka.
kind of a little zigzag path to get here, right? What have you seen from him? What did you know? What did you know about him coming in?
Yeah, he was a guy that we got a call from Coach Chesney, and he said, because I'm great friends with Bobby, and he's at UCLA now, and he said, hey, would you take a look at this quarterback we had at Holy Cross? He went to James Madison, did a really great job. So he sent a highlight tape. He looked great, but turns out he's a really good player, and had a great camp. So that was how that happened.
Bringing in Nevada gives you 3 kickers. What's your plan to just manage that competition?
Yeah, great question. Well, it's going to be a competition for sure right out of the gates. It already started. So you saw Zavada, that was his first iteration of that competition. And then when we come in next week, we'll be kicking field goals. We go to OTAs, we'll kick field goals pretty much, I think, every other practice, but we may be kicking them every practice because we've got 3 guys to kick. And we'll just see how it shakes out.
What did you like about him?
Really talented. He's big, tall, rangy kind of guy. I guess big for a kicker, you might say. A really strong leg, but more than anything, just the consistency. He's got a vertical swing pattern, we call it. So he does a nice job of getting downfield through the kick, and because of that, he tends to kick a straight ball consistently. If you do that, you probably have a chance. It's like your drive, right? When you hit it straight down the middle consistently, you have a good round.
He does.
You don't play golf?
He doesn't know
I do with my drive.
Oh, that's your drive. Bad drive guy.
He's taking a shot at my drive.
With Arvell, just curious, you guys are obviously excited about him and what he brings, but now that you kind of got to see him on the field and get to talk to him a little bit and see what he can do, like, what are you impressed about how versatile he can be just seeing him on the field versus just imagining what he can do on the field?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, you saw it on tape or you saw it at the workout at Ohio State, but when you see it like in person in your kind of setting, it's more. I thought he moved well. He's 6'4" plus, about 240 some pounds, and yet he moves like a smaller guy. He moves his feet, he can flip his hips. Very natural looking mover off the ball, which was something we saw on tape. We thought we saw, but now we saw it on the practice field. So we feel better about it, and picks things up really quick, very serious minded, very, very diligent about the assignments. I don't think he got one assignment wrong throughout the 2 days, which is great to see.
How do you manage a guy who has this versatility? You want him to focus on just the will position for now? And when do you start introducing maybe some of the other things he can do?
Yeah, another good question. Well, in the way we're built is the will position lines up in all those spots. So you're going to see him lined up at what might look like defensive end position, but it's actually the will by call. That's where he goes based on the way the defense is organized. So it's kind of, I don't know if we're cheating or not, but you'll see him playing over the guard sometimes, just by virtue of the call.
We asked a lot of questions about how you and Joe work together. You've worked with Brandon too for the first time, Brandon Brown, right? With the front office. What have you learned about him? What have you seen from him?
Yeah. Oh, Brandon. Gosh, he's been great. It's really like just on point. He's very knowledgeable. He always is. You ask a question. I mean, it's like he knows what he's talking about, and he's very thorough in his explanation about whatever it might be. If I was just thinking about I'm thinking about how it is to be around him. I mean, he's just great to be around. He's high energy, very smart, knows the league inside and out. Very impressed. I thought as a team, everybody was really good.
Two more.
Malinois, Hood, and Fields, your other top draft choices. You saw them on the field. What were your impressions?
Great point. I mean, CeCe was just fantastic. He took pretty much every rep. Looked like a natural at guard. Sometimes things happen a little quicker. You got to get out of your stance a little quicker. We'll see when the pads come on. That'll be another thing for him. But just seeing him go in there guard for the first time, I thought he looked really good. Looked like he'd been doing it his whole life. So that was a good start. Hood, loved him in press. Loved as a press corner. He was playing press out there with the other corners. I thought he looked really good. You saw him make a couple plays. How about the interception in 2 minutes? That was a nice play. So he was good. He was good and diligent the whole time. And then Malachi, a bunch of plays. You see him on those slants today, and he made every catch yesterday. Made one high catch over top of a corner one time. Happy with all those guys.
Malachi, talk about his size as a weapon downfield, but you flip on the highlight tape of Jeremiah Love during the process, and you see number 0 kind of out in front, making a lot of blocks, a lot of plays in the run defense, in the run offense. Did you see the same?
You're a run game guy, I see. You're asking about wide receivers blocking, and he was a blocker. I mean, look at him. He better be. You know, he's got no excuse not to be. And he's at Notre Dame, and that's how coach does it there. Marcus has got those guys playing physical. But how about on the slants today? You know, you saw him cross the corner's face on 3 or 4 slants today, real strong. So it's a good start for him.
Have you been following the New York Knicks at all? Have you been to the Garden? Or no?
We were there once a while back. My wife is on me. She wants to get in that. She wants to get there for a playoff game. So where they stand right now?
3-0.
3-0?
All right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm counting on another series. Yeah.
You mentioned the wide receiver position. I'm wondering where you are with that as a whole, and obviously the Odell thing was something you had worked them out. Where you kind of stand on that at the moment?
Right. Talked to Odell a lot, probably 3-4 times in the last week. Where he's at, where we're at. He's in Arizona right now training, and spending time with his son. So I think the goal for right now is for him to train and get as ready as he can be, and then we'll see where we're at that time. So, you know, for Odell, and this is the conversation that we had. We have just such an honest conversation about it. It's got to be right for both parties, and you know, Odell wants to be the kind of player that can make a difference. You know, I'm pretty sure that he can make a team in the National Football League, you know, right now. But can he make a difference, you know, and is it something he wants to do, and is his body going to hold up in the way he wants it to? You know, all those things are questions that need to get answered for anybody at that age, you know. Now, you know, Odell, he's confident, man. He's confident, he's working hard, and he believes in himself. So I think we'll just play it out over the next month and into training camp and see where we're at.